Hey there, it's Blue here with a gentle therapeutic flow for releasing the midsection and psoas. So let's get started. Okay, as always, making sure you've got the necessary support nearby. Now, we're definitely going to need 2 blocks for this one, and I always recommend having a rolled up towel or a blanket at hand as well. So, with that said, we will start to make our way down on to our backs. So make a nice passive transition into a reclining position here. Find somewhere comfortable for your hands. And we really want to relax into this one, so if you need to make any adjustments at all, then do so now. If you feel like you need to prop yourself up, if you need to prop the back of the neck up, if there's tension in the lower back, and for the next few moments and you need to maybe elevate your tailbone a little bit, then that's fine. I recommend bringing the feet out a little bit wider than the hips and letting the knees knock in. And you can sort of shift the feet around a little bit. Sometimes walking the feet away from the body a bit will help you find a bit of release, or closer in towards the hips, whatever works for you. And then we just want to move fairly deeply into the sensations of the body here. So without taking control of your breath at all, just notice where your breath is. Notice the rippling effect that your breath, that your breathing has on the rest of your body. So notice how the expansion and contractions of your body ripple down through your lower abdomen, up through your shoulders, out through your arms, down through your legs. Then noticing the soles of the feet, noticing the toes on the mat, noticing the legs, noticing the thighs, the hips, and the spine, running your awareness up the spine, out over the arms, noticing your fingertips wherever they're resting. Trying to find a softening in the back of the neck. At this point you might even elevate the head. Even if you're not feeling tension, it's nice to sort of feel supported under the back of the neck. So often I'll place something that just sort of hugs the curvature of the cervical spine there. So we want to feel like, almost like how a bag of sand might sit. So if you imagine you sit a bag of sand down on something, it slowly sort of melts down and replicates the form. It fills in all the spaces. So imagine your spine doing that. Imagine your shoulders doing that. Imagine your toes and the space between your toes melting down into the mat. Just earthing out here, getting really nice and heavy. And then I want you to bring your awareness back to your spine. And then run your awareness down to your lower back. See if you can visualize that place on your spine where your lowest ribs finish. You can even use your hands to do this, and this is quite nice. So finding your lowest ribs, and you can sort of run your fingers around and notice where the lowest rib finishes, and you can sort of trace that down onto the lower back, where that rib might connect up with the spine. And just below that is where a muscle called the psoas begins. And the psoas is a really interesting muscle that's basically in charge of connecting our upper and lower body. It helps sort of stabilize our body as we walk, as we move. But it synergizes all of the movement together. It allows us to stand upright, and it protects the lower back. It allows us to articulate our legs independently while balancing at the same time. It's an incredible muscle. And it runs from the lower back and it wraps around the front of our pelvis. And then it connects in just towards our groin, on the inner thighs there. So with all of that said, we're going to work into that area today, and we're going to try to release the psoas a little bit. We're going to lengthen that area. So the first thing we'll do is gently squeeze the lower back down, put a little bit of pressure through the lower back. Bring the right knee in towards the body. We're going to wrap the hands as best we can, binding the fingers around the base of the thigh here, or the upper thigh. So just below your sit bones there, just below the seat of your hips. Then all we're going to do, keeping this shin at a 90-degree angle to the floor, or elevated a little bit, we're just going to gently press the sole of the foot away from the body until you feel that resistance of your arms wrapping around the base or your upper thigh. Try not to let the shoulders lift too much. And then just take a couple of breaths here. Notice what that feels like. You should feel a really nice release in the lower back. And then if you'd like to take it further, we can start to extend the left leg. And notice what happens in the hips here. You might notice this right knee will actually start to fall back towards the body a little bit. So maintain that gentle pressure through the sole of the foot. Spread the toes out wide. Spread the sole of the foot out wide. And then just put a little bit of intention, a little bit of pressure down through the lower back, just below your lowest ribs, to make sure you're grounding through the lower back as well. And start to breathe here. And we'll take 5 breaths. And then we can even start to press through the left heel. Try not to shorten the left side of the body. So as we press to the left heel, we might even feel the left shoulder drawing down towards the hip a little bit. So stay long in the spine. Flex back on the toes. Take a deep breath in here. And a long exhale. Deep breath in. And a long exhale. Then we're going to release. Lower that right foot back down, and we'll start on the left hand side here. Bring the right knee in. Take that bind right down at the base of the leg there, at the upper thigh. Now once again, playing around a little bit, might feel slightly different on this side. Set yourself up. A little bit of forward pressure through the sole of the foot. And we're not looking to extend the leg away from the body, we're just stacking the knee above the hip. And then start to put a little bit of pressure down through the left hip. A little bit of intention, a little bit of pressure down through that space just below your lowest rib on your spine. Now we're not creating too much tension. We're not using too much effort here. Make sure you're breathing. We don't want to lift that foot too high either. It's tempting to lift the foot up towards the ceiling. And if you feel like moving further into the pose, then you can extend the right leg, press into the heel. Not so much flexing back on the toes, but broadening the sole of that foot, like you're stamping down, lengthening, but also pressing forward through the left foot as well. Imagine you're pressing something away from that left foot. And for this lovely release out over the front body here, and we've got this beautiful lengthening going on up over the psoas now. Take a couple of breaths here. And a long exhale. Inhale. Exhale. We'll do one more. Inhaling. Exhale, lowering down. Now, taking that blanket away, lifting back up, and we're just going to make our way up onto hands and knees here, moving slowly. We're keeping the energy pretty low. We're keeping this one really passive. And let's just move through a few sort of cat-cow movements here. So I'm just going to press the chest forward. And then I'm just going to exhale and sink down over the heels, extend the arms out in front. Coming down to child's pose. So it's actually not cat-cow, it's cow-child. Pressing the chest forward. Exhale. Child cow, we'll call it baby cow. Inhale. Pressing the chest forward, arching the back. And then exhale as the tailbone scoops under. Reach the fingers out in front of the body. And coming back up onto hands and knees now. And I'm just going to place my left foot under my left shoulder. Or it doesn't matter too much. What we really want to do is just create a nice right angle with left thigh and left shin. Then you may even need to bring the right knee in a touch. So we're creating this nice little sort of box shape here with left shin, thigh and right thigh. Now I'm just going to place my blocks next to my hips on the highest setting and lift myself up. Now from here, I'm going to, first things first, tuck these right toes under. And if there's any discomfort in the knee here, you might place something under the knee. I'm going to do that. I'm going to place my yoga blanket onto the knee and then elevate yourself up. Now, what we're going to do from here is lift the crown away from the right knee as far as we can. Now there's a lot going to happen here. What we're going to do is we're going to press into the heel of that right foot. And we're going to squeeze this left heel back towards the left block or towards the midline of the mat here. So I'm pressing down through the right knee now, lifting up through the crown, pressing back through the right heel and squeezing back towards my body with this left heel. So there's a lot of isometric strength going on here. And I don't want to do it with so much intention, with so much force that I'm actually making myself shake or building up too much energy or heat. So just with a subtle intention, a subtle strength there, gently drawing the heel back towards the body, gently pressing into the heel. Finding length from knee to hip, to solar plexus, to crown. And I'm gently reaching for the blocks here. And it won't take long before you start to feel a really significant warmth up over the front body here. Breathe into it. Let it all cook in. Let it all happen. exhaling. We just want to build a little bit of heat and set up for some really nice release. And now we're going to move to the next stage. We're going to reach the right hand up towards the ceiling. Now we're creating this beautiful length all the way from knee to hip to shoulder, up the fingertips, and also between pubic bone and solar plexus. Still pressing down through the right knee, lengthening through the back of the neck, like you're trying to lift your crown as high as your fingertips now. Maintain that subtle effort through left heel, drawing back towards the body and pressing away from the body with the right heel. A couple of breaths here. One more deep breath in, and we'll release now. And we'll just swap sides. So, bringing that left knee underneath the body. You might need to swap the cushioning under your knee over to the left side if need be. Once again, create this nice right angle, so it's not so much about how far we dip into the posture. Tuck the left toes under. Lift yourself up, press into the left heel. Start to draw the right heel back towards your body. Stack the shoulders above the hips. Draw the chin in towards the throat slightly. Lengthen the crown away from the mat. 3 to 5 breaths here. Breathing steadily. And slowly. Just building a bit of warmth. Deep breath in. Exhale, make sure you're pressing down through that left knee, lifting through the crown. Now we're going to reach the left hand up. Lovely big opening all the way up over the front body, up over the side body, but not dipping into the lower back. So point the tailbone towards the mat also. And I'm reaching down through the fingertips, but I'm not bowing inwards or curling inwards. It's not so much about the side body stretch. It's about the lengthening from knee to fingertips. Keep that intention going. Keep that subtle effort between right heel and left heel. Inhale. Exhale. One more of those. Inhaling. Exhaling. And then we'll bring the left hand down. From here we're just going to step back with this right foot and placing the right knee onto the cushion. Keeping these right toes tucked, I'm going to step the left foot forward. Now a nice long stance here. I'm bringing the blocks with me. I'm going to sink down into a nice big lunge here. But this time, instead of pressing into this back heel, I'm actually going to flex or squeeze the right knee and left heel back towards one another and let the weight of my upper body sink down into the mat. And the blocks are underneath my shoulders, but keeping ourselves upright, lengthening through the crown. There's almost no weight at all in the blocks now. They're just here to remind us to stay upright, really. Once again, flexing the knee back towards the midline, and also with the left heel flexing back towards the midline. Taking a couple of breaths here. Lengthening. Nice big opening in the hip flexors, in the front body, in the psoas. Deep breath in. And then let yourself sink in for a moment as you exhale. Taking a couple of breaths here. Beautiful big opening. Inhale. And then exhale. Lower yourself down or transition back. And we'll start on the other side with the left knee underneath the body, and then bringing the right foot forward. Making sure these left toes are tucked under and sinking down into my lunge. But squeezing the left knee towards the right heel or towards the midline. Same with the right foot, squeezing it back in towards the midline. Squeezing in and pressing down through the ball of the front foot also. Lengthening and letting the upper body sink down, letting myself sink into the lunge here. So we're quite active in the pose, but we're also quite passive as well. You'll feel really nice heat is probably building in the front body here. That's what we're looking for. At this point, you may not even need the blocks here, but they're nice to remind us to stay upright and active. Should be really light pressure through the palms or the fingertips. Deep breath in, long exhale. Inhaling, exhale. Let yourself sink in now. Deep breath in, and then exhale. We'll make our way back. You can bring the hands down off the blocks if you like. Bring that right knee all the way back. We can get this blanket out of the way now. Untuck the left toes, move these blocks out of the way, and we can make our way down into our final posture here. Shift the hips forward, take a deep breath in, lowering ourselves down. Now we'll need one block for this one. Find length in the spine. Lift the hips up off the ground. Place the pelvis, or the hip crest, and the coccyx on the block, not the lower back at all. Now finally we're going to bring this right knee in, making sure you're feeling stable here. If the block feels like it's going to pop out from under your hips, you can slide it back just a little bit. Bind the fingers around the right shin, or just below the knee. Take a few moments here, let yourself settle in. If there's no discomfort or pain, then start to extend this left leg. Let the shoulders melt in towards the mat. Give yourself a deep breath in and a long exhale. Inhaling and exhaling. Staying relatively soft in breath. Just for a few more moments. Let the weight of that left leg melt down into the mat through the left heel for that beautiful opening all the way up over the left side body. And then lower the right knee, lower the right foot down, bring the left knee back in, gently drawing in towards the body. Slowly, slowly, slowly extending that right leg. Making sure there's no pressure on the lower back. You could always shift the block around a little bit or have a soft bend in the knee if need be, in the right knee. Letting yourself soften in here. Staying active in the pose and active in the breath, but without too much effort. Letting the weight of your body melt down. Now this time we're going to release the left hand from the left knee and reach the hands up overhead. Press through the heels, reach through the fingertips. Try to touch your tailbone on your heels. So lengthen the lower back. Reach as far away from your heels as you can with your fingertips. Deep breath in. And then sort of just soften the arms and bring them back to the lower ribs maybe. Walk the feet back towards the body. Press into the heels and let's lift away from the block. Walking the feet away from the body and letting yourself settle into your Savasana. The feet spill out to the side. As always, if you need to prop yourself up on anything or make adjustments for a little bit of extra comfort, that's fine. Soften your gaze or close your eyes here. And once again, let yourself fully melt in. See if you can let every muscle soften. Let everything go. And just running your awareness up and down your body again. And letting that awareness settle in the midsection of your body here, letting it settle down over the abdomen, the pubic bone, the hips. But we're not visualizing the body as in front and back, but we're visualizing our body as a whole. Because the psoas muscle connects not only the top and the bottom of our body, but it connects the front and the back. It runs from the spine up over through onto the front of over our pelvis, into our groin. So we're visualizing our body in 3 dimensions. Visualize your lungs expanding and contracting, not up and down, but also outwards. We're filling the space in 3 dimensions. Take a deep breath in now. And a long exhale. Start to move the body slowly. Reawaken the body little bit by little bit. And we will make a gentle transition up into a seated position. Sealing our practice, as always, with some gratitude for ourselves, our bodies, our ability to change and learn and grow and adapt. For the food we eat, the water we drink, and the air we breathe, we'll take a deep breath in Namaste.